So we have, like we'll be starting dynamics from today. There are only a couple of sessions, like which I'll be taking for dynamics. But anyhow, by looking at PPT, you can do a bit more. Okay. And moreover, this is another specialization where, um, while working itself, you'll be learning a lot. That's one thing, definitely. Okay. Majorly, like first thing what we have to do is you need to choose FX as topic. Okay. And first thing, there are legacy particle here, means legacy elements, legacy particle. Okay. Uh, in simple words, we have emitters which emits particle. Okay. So let's say, for example, if I go inside emitter, okay. So you have like omnidirection and volume emitters are there. You have three emitters. So let's say under particle, if I go to create emitter, normally you should have, okay, you have three only. Omnidirectional volume. Three different type of emitter is there. Okay, emitter emits particle. That's how it works. Okay, create emitter, particle. Okay, like certain things are there. So this is one part, emitter and particles. And these are static elements. Let's say, for example, I'll just go to particle tool here. Okay, I go to the option box here. I'm in particle tool and I'll go to the option box. Here what it says is, so when I click, you can see these red dots, it's creating, it's like one particle is creating. I can increase more. Okay, maximum radius I can increase a bit. So when you click at a time 26 particles, you can even increase or decrease the number. Okay, so it's like, see, so I just make this alt by, you can see here. Okay, I can even sketch particle, sketch into, like, and give, it's like this. I can sketch. Okay, it's a pool of particles. I can create number of particles even more. I can increase the sketch interval so that, see, it's like this. Lot of particle. Okay, so many. So I have created. When I press enter, it will complete. So all this is considered as particle one, though you have multiple, like thousands of particles here, but it considers as particle one. Okay, because this is particle system one. Okay, so let me start playing this, like do simulation part. So when I play, nothing is happening. Why? Because it is static. There is no external force for the particles to do simulation. What are these external force called as? External force called as fields. Okay. You can go to fields and solvers here. These are fields. You have three, one second, three. There are 8 type of fields are there. Air field, drag, gravity, Newton, radial turbulence, uniform, vortex. Let me just give Newton. So when I give Newton, so this is something like Newton field, like there's a field here. Okay. So what is this Newton? This stands for, you might know Newton laws, right? As you know, this Maya dynamics or FX, it is purely based on science. Okay, especially physics. Newton's law. Are you aware of Newton's law? You might have studied in school. Do you know what is Newton?
Yes.
How many laws are there?
Yes.
How many Newton's laws are there? Any idea? There are 3 Newton's law, right? Okay. It's force, momentum, and action or reaction. So normally third law is very simple. Everybody knows. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. So this is for like the first one is direction and second is momentum. So this is based on like Newton's first law. It's like attraction. Okay. Every element or every atom, like it will attract towards its center. Okay, so now this is Newton field. So when I play this, all these particles will get attracted here to this one. Okay, it is attracting. So what I do is So in this field, see, even in the field also there are common elements. When you see the fields, any fields, as you know, there are 8 type of fields are there. Whatever field you take, these three are common: magnitude, attenuation. These two are common. Okay. So magnitude is the intensity or the force, you can call. I increase the magnitude to more. Okay. Then we'll see. You can see these particles are getting attracted a bit quicker. Though it is getting attracted, then again it comes back. It goes there and comes back. So attenuation is something like a controller. Okay. I make the attenuation as 0. That means there is no controller. In that case, what happens? It's so quick. It forms sort of an umbrella stuff, and it goes back again. Okay. So that's what this Newton field is all about. Okay, let's say I take it out the Newton field, and I deleted that, and I'm selecting the particle. I give some other field. These are so interesting stuffs. Okay. Um, I go with, like I go for turbulence. What is turbulence? Turbulence is nothing but noise. Okay. Normally, okay, when you're outside, a windy or air, it's a lot of breeze is there, and like too much wind or breeze. So that time, like we call it as, like the turbulence is more. Okay. Or even when you're in a flight. Okay. If you get bit of uh, vibe, like vibration feeling and all, when you are in a journey, you will get a command, or the people will say, right, uh, the turbulence is more. So that's how it is. Air turbulence. I have given turbulence. Let me just play this and see what it happens. You're able to see things, moving in different direction. This is turbulence, means adding noise. So what if there is no attenuation, means there is no controller here? It's super fast. So this is a simple example of bees, honey bees. Okay. Let's say there is a bee nest, and if someone throw a stone on it, okay, so these bees will get scattered, right? So that sort of movements you get. Now coming to the part. So as you know, like I have started explaining, like multiple type of field. I want you to just create a particle group and try adding, these fields individually, like one after the other, and see how does this work. Air you can define with um, like a direction, in which direction you want this particle to move. Drag is, like holding, you control the movement. Okay. Gravity, it towards it falls basically towards earth, like normally it falls down. Okay. Newton, you saw what's it's all about attraction. Radial, it's all about circular. Turbulence is noisy. Uniform is, like you're giving a command, go in one particular direction. Vortex is nothing but mm, like a hurricane, or like a um, twister. You can create a twister effect with vortex. So I'll show you that. So I selected this particle, and I'll go to particle shape. Okay. In particle shape, there are so many options which we need to know. Let's see. Come to particle render type. Okay. Under particle render type, you have two different types of particle. See, that means two categories, I can say. Wherever you see SW, these are software renderable particle. Let's say tube. I change the particle to tube. I can make this to look like cloud. I can make this to look like a blobby surface. These are software render particle. And apart from that, streak or sprite or sphere or point or numeric. Numeric is a number. Okay, now numeric is a non-renderable particle, and multi-streak or multi-point. These things are hardware render particle. Hardware. Remember, in your render engine, you have Maya software, Arnold, hardware. Go to settings here, render settings. Okay. You can see Maya hardware, Maya software. The three here are Maya software renderable particle, and the remaining 6 is a hardware render particle, and 1 is a non-renderable one. That is, numeric is a non-renderable one. Okay. So in total, you have 9 particle. 6 is hardware renderable particle, 3 is software renderable particle. You might get these questions. Okay. Fine. Now, I select one more field called vortex. I have applied vortex. When you look at this, okay, I think I have given turbulence, right? I delete both the field and I'm selecting this. I apply vortex. Okay. What happens when I apply vortex is, see, this start rotating. It's like a universe or galaxy. Okay. Galaxy. See, it's rotating. You can create a solid galaxy stuff like lot many things which you can create. That's what I meant to say. Fine. So these are particles. Now try all the fields. Now what I'll do, I'll just come to in particle. I'll just select emitter. Okay, I select emitter, and if you come to emitter, there are 5 different type of emitter you can see. One is directional emitter, omni emitter, surface emitter, curve emitter, volume emitter. There are 5 types of emitter in Maya. Okay. Now let's say I'm an omni. Okay. And when I play, you can see omni emitter is emitting particles. Okay. From this particular point, omni emitter is emitting particle. In which direction these particles are coming? It's coming in 360 degrees. It's coming in all the direction. That's how omni works. Okay. Now I change this from omni to directional, and I'll go back. Always any changes or any update you have done, you have to go back to frame 1. Don't drag here and do. You have to click here. You have to go back. Then you have to play. Now what is happening, if you notice here, I think one sort of particle line is coming here. See, you get particle, but it is coming from in this way. Why? Because let's see why we are having this. Why particles are coming in this way. I select the emitter. I'll come down. You have an option called distance and direction attribute. So if you just notice here under direction X, the value is 1. What is direction X? Can you see here red color line, direction X? This is X direction. That's the reason, means the value is 1, and Y and Z it is 0. That's the reason this particle movement is in this. Let's say I want Y, particle to come in up direction. So what I have to do is I have to make it 1 under Y, and X is 0. So now let's see what happens. So you can see particles are moving in y-axis. Okay. Now why particles are moving like in a line? That's because there is no spread. Let us spread the particles and let's see. Can you see particles? You have a movement something like this. Now, you have an option speed. Now see, particle is getting birth here. Okay, means when from the emitter, when the particle comes out, that means particle is getting birth here and it is living forever for now. Okay, we can define or decide the lifespan of a particle also. So what I'll do, I can increase the speed. I increase the speed to 10. Random is nothing but, okay, when I increase speed to 10, all the particle, even individual particle here, the speed of the particle is 10. See, the speed of the particle is 10. But when what is the speed random? Random means if I make it 8, few particle speed is 8, few particle speed is 10. In between 8 to 10, some might be 9, some might be 8.5, 8.2, 9.2. That's how it defines. Okay. So let's play. Now see, this is how we are getting. Now let's do one thing. I select this particle. I want it something like a firework. Okay. I'll give a field, I'll apply a field for this particle. You need to select the particle, and for the particle, I'm applying a field called gravity. Now let's see what sort of output we get. I'm coming back to the frame one. Then I'll play. Great. See, it goes up and comes down, right? I will add a plane now. I'm gonna add a plane. I'll take a I'll add a plane. Bit down. Okay. Fine. Now what I'll do, I select this particle, shape of the particle from go to render stats, not render stats, particle render attributes, go to render attributes. From point, I want to make it look like streak. You know what is streak? Streak is like a line, okay, a streak. And if I want to edit this streak, the look and feel of the streak, I have to go to current render type, add attribute for current render type. I can increase the tail size. I can increase the width of this streak, tail fade and all. I can work on it, something like this. Okay. I can reduce the width a bit. So you're getting an output like this. I want this particle to go even more height. So what I'll do, I'll come back to emitter speed. I make it 15 and plus or minus 10. Okay. So I am getting an output like this. Now we have created a surface here. I want the particle to collide with the surface. Okay. I don't want particle to go inside the ground. I want the particle to stay on the surface. So select the particle, shift select the object, select the particle, shift select the object. Go to N particle. N stands for nucleus. Nucleus is a solver. Solver is something like a heart in human body. How does it function? That's how solver is nucleus for the particle. Okay. So I'm selecting the particle, then select the object, go to particle and click on make collide. When I do make collide, now what is happening? These particles will get collide with this object. So I'll play. See, particle is hitting the surface and bouncing back. Okay, this looks interesting. Particle is hitting the surface and bouncing back, which I don't want that to happen, right? So why it is bouncing, I'll tell you. Now select the object. Normally when we create any of the plane or any of the object, which doesn't have this option, geo connector, you have to go to attribute, select the plane, geo connector, geometry connector. This option will appear once any of the object is getting collided with the particle system. Okay. So normally, let's say I take a sphere, or I take any object. I take a plane or anything. Normally this sphere or other object doesn't have that geo connector. That option itself is not there. Why? Because this is not colliding with any of the particle. Whereas this plane, I'm selecting a plane is getting collided. So I go to geo connector. Tessellation factor is nothing but the collision quality. I want it to be 1000 and more. Resilience is nothing but bounciness. I make 0.1. Earlier it was 1, which is so bouncy. See now? You can see particle is hitting the surface and spreading out. Okay, right? It's not too bouncy. There's something called friction. You know what is a friction, right? How when two objects collide each other, it generates some heat or it reduces the velocity or the movement, right? That is friction. So I would like to add some friction like 0.5. I don't want to add more. Let's see if 0.5 is more or less. Okay, I think this is okay. What if I give 0.1 friction? Let's see. Okay, I think this is good. Fine. You get an output something like this. Now coming to the number of particle. Now I select the emitter. Currently 100 particles are emitting per second. What if I make 500 particles to emit per second? Oh, this looks amazing. Now see 500 particles. And all these particles are living forever. So I'll just go to particle shape. Go to particle shape. If you just come down after this render attribute, you have per particle array attribute, per particle array attribute. Under per particle array attribute, you have three things. Below that, add a dynamic attribute. There's something called color. When I click on color, automatically, like a small window, a pop-up will appear. It is asking me, to choose any three option. Add per object attribute. When I select this, entire particle system will consider as one object and one color will be appeared. Add per particle attribute means individual, whatever color I apply, it will be applicable for the individual particle. You can apply any shader also. I want to go with the middle one. Add per particle attribute. That means for each particle here, I want to apply color. So just observe here. When I click on add attribute, automatically RGB PP will come. PP stands for per particle. Per particle. I click on add attribute. So you saw RGB PP. Just one change is there in this now. Now what happens? RGB PP is here. And can you see the lifespan of this particle is living forever. Now this is live forever. This particle is live forever. But under RGB PP, right click, I want to create a ramp. Under RGB PP, right click, create a ramp. When I create a ramp, automatically the lifespan of this will become constant. That means it lives and it dies here. It's not coming down. So what I have to do, I have to give a random range. The life of the particle, I have to give a random range. I want this to live for 4 seconds plus or minus 3. Okay. So what happens now? It goes up, it comes down, and it dies after some time. You observe, it dies. It dies after some time. Okay, now I come back to now this you can see black and white color sort of it is there. I'll just come down here. We have applied RGB, right? RGB PP like a ramp. Right click. I want to edit the ramp. I'll tell you how to do that. Select this, right click. You have to move your mouse. Edit ramp. Go to edit ramp. Now you can see the start point is black and the end point when it is gonna die, it is white. The start point, this is the particle birth point, this is the particle death point. So simple, what I want is I want to make it reverse. The birth point, you can select this. I want, this is a fire, right? Fire. So I would like to give this color. Then I'll click and drag, you get one more point. I want to give this color and drag one more point. I want red color here. Orange, then red, then after that it should die, right? So it is something like this. Okay, go back and play. It's like this. Okay, then I'll come down. I think I'm okay with the ramp. Then I select this. I'll go up. Use lighting. When I click OK, not required. Use lighting. This is streak. I can reduce the width. I think it's okay. Like, this is output which you are getting. Any doubts up to here? Lindell, go.
No, sir.
See, this is majorly not physics oriented. So you get to see or you get to recall the same words: velocity, motion, turbulence, gravity, even you can say lifespan, force, emission, inherent factor. Okay, lot many things. We'll see all this. Okay, lifespan, some other things. So this is one sort of example, like which I have done. Yeah, I want you to try this. Let me just save this in my batch 2 sim4 dynamics. 01. Okay, try this in the next class. Like I'll show you some of the simple examples also, with particle what we can do else. Okay, and if you want, like after the exam, see, just go through your PPT first. Let me know if you have any doubts. Based on that we can start. I'll show you some of the examples after the exam also. If you want, like I can provide some training on these things. Okay, so majorly focus on the theory part. I want you all to score good marks in that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just inform your friends, like ask Lindell and Clay and Sena and Nati to go through this. Okay. Bye then.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Have a good
Right, sir. Bye.